Now at 10, the holiday travel rush is in full swing, unstoppable despite an increase of COVID cases across the country. And details on the new visitation rules for South Carolina prisons. Also tonight, a warning about the increase of violence during the holidays. I'm Denise Jefferson in for John Hart. This is News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Good evening. I'm Denise Jefferson. Thanks so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins tonight with millions of people traveling on one of the biggest travel days of the year. But the Omicron variant could be raising some concern. Some are hitting the road, while others hit the skies on one of the busiest travel days of the year. But with the Omicron variant on the rise, some travelers aren't taking chances, while others still feel safe to board a plane.
As long as I'm just being safe with my mask and washing my hands and stuff, I feel like I'm going to be okay.
This traveler says with more people vaccinated and the booster shot widely available, it should be safe to travel.
You can't live in fear. You have to continue with your life, you know, and just take precautions and, you know, be happy.
While there's no vaccine mandate for domestic air travel, Dr. Anthony Fauci is advising against holiday gatherings with unvaccinated family members. Tuesday, President Biden addressed the nation on the rise of the Omicron variant. He says those who are vaccinated can celebrate with their families. However, he issued this warning for those who are not.
If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned.
The CDC recommends travelers wear a mask and be fully vaccinated before traveling. And the CDC is also recommending that if you are not vaccinated, you delay travel until you are. And now it's time to take a look at your weather forecast with our chief meteorologist, Tim Miller. And Tim, today, lots of sunshine and a little bit warmer.
Yeah, and wait till the next couple of days when it really starts to get warmer, Denise.
I'm looking forward to it.
I know you are. You like those warm temperatures.
I do.
Who doesn't this time of year, right? Because it can be darn right chilly. 61 was the high today. That's about a degree above the average. Started out rather cold, though, 30 degrees this morning, so we were below freezing. Current temperature, 36. Now, that's in Bushfield. A little warmer in town for sure, and we have a few more degrees to go as we'll lower those temperatures. The winds have been from the southeast. They still are. They will turn to the southwest starting tomorrow, and then it's going to start to get on the breezy side for sure. Here's our satellite view showing absolutely clear skies all across the CSRA and the two-state. With high pressure to our south, that's going to give us one more chilly night before we start to warm things up. So 32 for the overnight low for tonight. Clear and, of course, rather chilly. Christmas Eve tomorrow. It will be a beauty with abundant sunshine, a little breezy with a temperature of 67 degrees. The real story, though, is coming up after Christmas Eve. We talk about Christmas Day. The question is, where is winter? It'll be very warm and very breezy, and we may be pushing 80 degrees next week. We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Tim. We have an update on the deadly shooting on Champaign Avenue. Today, News Channel 6 spoke with the brother of Xavier Knight. The 17-year-old was shot to death on Wednesday at Falcon Crest Apartments. Reports say it was an accident, but Xavier's brother Dante is calling for justice. He says that teenagers should not play with guns, and to release the 14-year-old arrested in connection with his brother's death would just make matters worse. The holidays can be stressful for everyone, but law enforcement says for some homes, there's also an increase in domestic violence. Experts say they see an increase in domestic violence cases during this time of year across the country. And throughout the state of South Carolina, victim advocates say it happens 2.7 times more this time of year.
People are stressed about their finances, having people over. It's just a lot more stress added to them, so they take it out on each other.
Domestic violence is something that might peak during the holidays, but it doesn't just happen during the holidays. And it's not just physical abuse.
For free confidential support and help, contact Safe Homes Domestic Violence Center at 706-736-2499 or at 1-800-799-SAFE or the Cumbie Center to Assist Abused Persons Incorporated at 803-649-0480. For the first time in over a year, some inmates in South Carolina prisons will be seeing family in person for the first time. The South Carolina Department of Corrections is now allowing visitations system-wide. Visitations reopened to all inmates with visitation privileges Thursday. Prison officials created a special holiday schedule for these visits. After Christmas, the regular Saturday and Sunday visits will be allowed as long as there are no housing units in quarantine at an institution.
We have protocols in place. We have things in place to make it safer. We hope, obviously, this is a temporary thing, but visitation will go forward ongoing, and it'll be a week-to-week basis depending on what's going on in that prison with COVID.
Right now, state prisons are reporting 35 active cases of COVID-19 among inmates. An alternative redistricting plan is now released for South Carolina's 1st congressional district. The new map adds areas including Hilton Head and Charleston and cuts areas like North Charleston to its Columbia-based 6th congressional district. Both proposals break up Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace's district. Large parts are moved into Democratic Congressman Jim Clyburn's. The State House Redistricting Ad Hoc Committee plans to discuss the alternative proposal next Wednesday. Boosting efficiency at a busy Georgia port, today Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg announced a multi-million-dollar grant to fund projects at ports across the nation. One of those projects is a new berth at the Port of Brunswick. It currently operates with 3, but a 4th berth is expected to cut vessel waiting time. This means that ships can arrive and depart faster. More than $14 million in grant money will go toward this expansion. Georgia will not be allowed to impose work requirements on Medicaid beneficiaries or charge them premiums. The Biden administration announced today it's withdrawing the requirement that was approved during the Trump administration. Federal officials say the policies would hurt people trying to gain access to coverage. And millions of Americans now have more time to pay off their student debts, but experts say graduates shouldn't take this news as a get-out-of-debt-free card. Coker University Vice President of College Experience, Patrick Rickards, oversees the university's financial aid office. He says the extension of federal student loan forbearance from the end of January until May 1st serves recent graduates as well, but he warns against banking on federal debt elimination.
This is a wonderful gift to those, particularly those who've been struggling for the last few years. But this should not be seen as a get out of loan free card. If you're a recent college graduate and you decide, I'm just not going to pay, I'm going to default on the loans, nobody's going to mind. They're going to mind when you want to buy a car. They're going to mind when you want to buy your first house with your spouse.
President Biden says millions of student loan borrowers are still dealing with the impacts of the pandemic and still need more time before resuming payments. Multiple companies are experiencing online outages, and it's all being linked to Amazon Web Services. Amazon first reported outages earlier this month, and there have been 2 more since then. The problems are causing packages to arrive late or not at all. Many third-party companies are also affected by the problems, and the timing makes things even worse.
The real big struggle for us is, during this crazy holiday shopping season, one day is literally an eternity. So if we can't send stuff in one day or get it in one day later, it could affect how many people can get, a University of South Carolina sticker sheet or a flag. It could be the difference between an item being in stock or out of stock on Amazon.
Amazon says the most recent outage was due to a power problem. Warren Baptist Church event organizers say the success of last year's Christmas in the Park in Evans was such a success that they had to do it again. What can be expected is free hot chocolate, a jazz trio play, and an actual church service. Lane Lowry, who's the executive pastor, says tonight is all about hope. Hope that people can find Christ.
And so this year we thought, let's do that again. And so that's what happened. It's Christmas in the Park. Lady A is an incredible facility. And so therefore this year we wanted to do the same thing. And so we just wanted to bring our normal Christmas Eve service to the city of Augusta and Evans. And so therefore we came back again this year.
This year, nearly 5,000 to 6,000 people were in attendance.